Greetings! It is I, Titus Narvan Dracovin, Lord Emperor of the Dracovin Empire, and welcome. It is time to continue my discussion on Dungeons & Dragons, the 5th edition of D&D. When we last left off, we talked about the moral quandaries, which I only introduced one of them. Let's talk about the rest of the moral quandaries to start out. Next is the friend quandary. The friend quandary is an interesting one because you are faced with this problem that an NPC, someone that is important to one or more of your characters, poses them with a request, asks them of something, which is incredibly difficult or impossible to do. This could be like giving up this dangerous quest that the players have been on, or sparing the life of a villain who's done such horrible things. They're faced with this quandary because they've been asked by someone so dear to them. After that, we do want to talk about, of course, the honor quandary. This is when a character is faced with the decision between gaining victory or upholding some kind of oath they've taken or code of honor that they have, where they reach a situation where the easiest path to victory is right there in front of them. But taking that path breaks their code, breaks their honor, betrays what they've set themselves up with, betrays their very character to do this. And they know it. But they know it's the option that really should be taken. It's the option that has success written all over it. If you use this quandary, be mindful that you should really give the character that's taking this choice an option to finding redemption. If you don't, you're basically hurting them for hurting them's sakes. Giving them the opportunity to face this difficult choice and then seek redemption for what they've had to do is one of those things that it makes for great story. Now, the rescue quandary is an important one to know about too. This is a decision where you decide whether you're going to stop a villain, capture, defeat, kill them, or save some victims they have set up to basically get to kill. You must choose, in a way, maybe hunt down a villain, but you hear his men are about to attack a village. Kill everyone there. Who will you choose? You have an opportunity to stop this powerful villain who's been killing people all over the place. Or do you protect the victims that you know are going to occur, rather than the ones that may occur in the future, the ones that are suffering right now? Which do you choose to take care of? The final one I want to talk about today is the respect quandary. This one's an interesting one. There you have two important NPCs to your characters, each giving conflicting orders or advice. Which do you follow? Because the other one, you'll lose respect with them if you deny what they have basically either told you or ordered you to do. So the choice is, it's difficult, because you respect both of them to begin with. Which one do I choose? Now, another important element, other than the moral quandary, is the twist. The twist basically throws a wrench in your character's plans to complete their goals and accomplish their missions. They're basically little things that make it more difficult to accomplish. There's a list in the book, 10 of them, where you could either roll, take a random one, use it for inspiration, or come up with your own. You can sort of look at them and see what a good twist might be. Now let's talk side quests. Side quests are small missions that are usually event or location based that could drive your characters on another sort of line of the story that oftentimes actually does not relate at all to the main quest. It could be just something out there completely. It could parallel or connect to the main quest also, but it doesn't need to be. A side quest can be something completely different. The fact is, you might want to use one or two side quests to sort of throw your players into different locations. If you do this, if you use side quests, make sure that either they relate some way to the main quest, or whatever reward they're going to get will help out on the main quest. Maybe their main quest is going to be diving to the ruins at the bottom of the lake, and they don't have a way to get there. They complete the small side quest helping a farmer defeat some trolls. Oh, he's got a potion of water breathing. Oh, he's got a couple of them, one for each of the players. Look at that. We found our way to the bottom of the lake. That's what a good side quest does. It helps out in the end, rather than just distracting. It makes the players feel like they're still accomplishing something, even though they're going off on a complete tangent. They're still getting closer to their goal at the end of the main mission. Now let's talk about building encounters. Because encounters are going to be the lifeblood of your adventure. They're going to be the steps along the journey. Now it's important that your adventures are going to be fun. They're going to be entertaining. They should not be a burden to run them also. So you have to find that balance that's going to be a fun adventure and you're not going to have a problem running it. It also should have some kind of clear objective. And regardless of whatever this objective is, it should link in to the story that you're building within your campaign world, the story of the adventure your characters are going on. This objective should be as straightforward as possible and lead to the next encounter, the next portion of the story and the adventure that you're going on. Now, each encounter is going to have 3 possible outcomes. Your characters succeed, your characters fail, or your characters partially succeed. Ooh, an interesting one in the middle there. Regardless, your players should feel like success or failure at this encounter has an effect in the world, has an effect to everything that's going on within their storyline. Let's talk about the characters' objectives, though, because the fact is, you should have an objective characters can recognize. If you're running an encounter and the characters cannot realize what this objective is of this encounter, whatever excitement they've had for it is going to turn to boredom. So you're going to want to make it obvious, at least easily picked up, whatever objective this encounter has. Now, this doesn't say that players make up objectives for their own characters. This should be encouraged and almost expected. This is building character for their characters almost. It's connecting whatever storyline or ideas about their character that they have personally to the story you're building. A goal why your characters, the players, might be on this adventure, might be involving themselves in these encounters and pushing it down the line. So you can see there's an importance in these personalized objectives that characters, that players will be building for themselves. And you can use them to build story on your end. Once you know what your players want personally out of this adventure, what their characters will want personally, you can tailor things in your adventures to bring that objective to the forefront and use it as an objective. It means that I have less objectives to come up with because I can add in that one that player wants, that the players want. Now, the book does provide a number of sample objectives. Each of these objectives could be used one time in an encounter, or you could spread them out over an entire campaign or adventure. You could basically make it that multiple encounters might be needed to resolve the same objective, that each of these encounters are linked together, and it creates one cohesive sort of goal through going through all of these encounters. Helps to bring about this story between these encounters a little more. So that's it for today. I talked about more twists and difficulties and things that can happen that add life to your encounters, from the moral quandaries, the rest of them, to the twists that go on, to side quests, which should still relate to the overall quest. I then talked about creating your encounters and needing an objective for it. Just whatever goals are going to happen, how it's going to end, but that objective is the most important part that I could really mention at this point in time, because it should feel like what your characters want to accomplish at the end of this encounter, the end of it, why they're doing it. That's a good question of why the objective is so important. I also talked about personal objectives, of course, and using them then. The book does provide a good number of example ones. You can use any of these, or definitely come up with some on your own that your players might want to do. In the next episode, I'm going to talk about combat encounters and move in to talk about random encounters. Interesting, both very interesting aspects of the encounters that you'll be using in your adventures. But regardless, if you have any questions, comments, anything you want to say, anything you think I left out, please leave in the comments below. Please like, share, and subscribe. It shows support the channel, the empire, the work I do. If you want to show some extra support, you can always check out my Patreon. Link in the description below. But regardless, until the next time, I bid you farewell.